Oh, the coffee, y'all. Oh, the coffee. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Let me adjust that there. Let me adjust my shirt. There we go. We're ready to go now with my hair a hot mess. Oh, Lordy. Oh, Lordy. Good morning. Welcome to the second to last episode of the Merry Morning Show with me, your diva, Brianna. Um, Hi. I'm tired today. And I'm just like, I don't have a good reason why. It's just one of those days where like I woke up slower, the alarm went off, and I was just like, oh, it's a dragging morning, y'all. It's a dragging morning. Good morning, Lissa, Donna, Jeannie. Good to see you all. So glad that you're here. Um, today, today, hang on, I need more coffee. Today is going to be a coffee day. Then I don't even know how to describe what I am. I always feel a little hot mess. Like I always just feel like a little like this. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it. Lindsay, you're here. Good morning. Good to see you. So today is my least favorite day. It's packing day. I hate packing. It doesn't matter what we're doing. It doesn't matter where we're going. It doesn't matter how actually simple the task is. I hate packing. I don't know why. I think it's from like the emotional implications of like something that's going to feel chaotic is coming. And so for whatever reason, no matter what it is I'm doing, I can't stand packing. And today is packing day. So that is my singular mission today. And then I'm gonna remember, y'all. Um, we have Patreon members only Zoom chat tonight. Good morning, April. Good to see you. Which will be great, which will be a good time. It'll break up the chaos because I'll be packing. And then tonight, my sister in law gets back in. She has been driving across the United States from Utah, and it's been like a 5-day journey. She stopped to hang out with a friend somewhere in like Alabama or Arkansas or I don't even know where. But she arrives with her dog, who is a bigger dog. And so Gracie's going to be here running around, and the girls will be running around, and Kristen always brings chaos. And so I get to go upstairs and hang out with my patrons tonight for a little bit. It'll be good. It's been a rough week for me. Sinus infection, ear infection, and pink. Oh, ooh, ooh. I don't know which of those is worse. Yikes. That's not fun at all. I'm sorry you're going through that, Lindsay. I hope the girls are better by Christmas. Or is that you? Is it the girls or is that you? Either way, it's terrible, and I hope you all heal up before next week. Because can you believe that Christmas is next week, y'all? Christmas is next week. Um, there's I'm very excited. I'm excited for all the different things. I'm excited to go home. I'm not excited to go home to the winter, but I'm still excited to go home. And I'm excited to go to and hang out at my grandparents' house and hang out with Alice and just kind of have a low key week. My husband will be off work next week, which will be great. But first, we have to get there. That's the stressful part of it for me. Once we get to Chicago, it's fine. It's a week off for both of us because I'm not doing any work next week either. Um, and so it'll be pretty low key. Our sole purpose, I think my husband has a couple dentist appointments because he hasn't found like a new dentist because we moved and then COVID, right? So while we're conveniently located where we used to live, he's like, I'm just gonna go to my old dentist. So he's doing that. I have a hair appointment next week and I can finally get this awful gray streak turned blonde. And get my hair dyed for the first time in over a year because the last time I had it dyed, I think was November of last year. So that'll be great. It's you. Oh, no. I am so sorry. That's hard. That sucks on its own. And then you got to mom those 3 babies while you feel that way. I am so sorry. Oh, I will pray for you. My gosh, that's awful. Um, So we have a fun week planned next week. What else is happening next week? My husband's birthday. So we'll do something for my husband's birthday, but not too much of an out and about something because in the Midwest, COVID is running rampant right now. So like we were like, should we well, I haven't actually had this discussion with my husband yet, but the thought crossed my mind of like, we could go to Christmas Eve church at the church that we know and love. And then I was like, but maybe not because there's so many cases happening right now in the Midwest. Um, so maybe we won't be going to church. And my sister's like, maybe not. Maybe don't go to church. My other sister, I am pleased to report, is feeling better. Her fiance, I believe, is feeling fine. They had COVID, and they're doing well. They're doing fine. I will be seeing them on Sunday, and they should be, in theory, symptom free, decongested, and no longer contagious. So that's a blessing. They just had really bad, like, congestion, sinus infection. Like, she's glad she got tested just to, like, to know, to confirm, but it wasn't anything that was not really bad cold symptoms or something like that, you know? So she got very they he got very lucky because he's unvaccinated, but she got very lucky too. Um, in that they just both had like they just got to hang out and be sick together for a week. My brother's in ICU with COVID. Oh, I am so sorry, Janie. That's hard. Um, I've been sick all week, not sure what's wrong with me, and there's nothing that can be done, so I'm just feeling crummy. It's the worst when you can't do anything to feel better. I'm glad you're on the upswing, Lindsay. Good morning, Kim. Happy Thursday. Um, Yeah, so that's all that's happening. I thought I had something to tell you guys, but I don't. I don't have anything to tell you guys. I'm just packing today and getting ready to go back to the normal. And we got to drive and we got to survive. We are actually driving not quite through. We called yesterday. We called the hotel that we're staying in yesterday because we realized after we booked it, we're going to Orlando tomorrow to spend the evening, to spend the night with our best friends from North Carolina. They are the couple that we bonded with. They are our BFFs, first like best friends as we were a couple together. And the wife and Eric went to business school together. So they live in Kissimmee, and she actually works for Disney. And so we go down there and we see them. We're like, great, um, you moved to Orlando, which is convenient because that means whenever we come down here, we can go see them. It's not far. It's 2 hours, but it's not hard to go to Orlando, hang out with our friends. One time we met in the middle, so we each had to drive an hour. But it's super important. And the last time we saw them, we think the last time we saw them was when we visited for Eric's grandmother's funeral, literally the week that the world shut down. I think, if my memory serves me correctly, that's when we swung through and on our way back, did we fly? No, we might have now I honestly can't remember. It's been a while since we've seen them. It's been a long while. We have not seen them in the pandemic. We almost did, but their childcare is very particular about and rightfully so, about them being exposed to other people and them getting sick because it's one of their parents. And so we didn't want to be the reason, even though we're super safe and everything, we didn't want to come over and then be the reason that they didn't have childcare for a week, you know? So we finally get to go see them tonight or tomorrow night. So we're driving to Orlando. And then we were like, well, since we're getting a 2 hour head start on what we normally would drive, because normally we stay in Southern Tennessee because that's about halfway. And then we go to Chicago. And so we've done that every time we've driven down. But I'm like, well, if we're 2 hours ahead of time, what if we push it and see if we can get further so the second day's drive isn't as long, or I guess it's the third day's drive by then, um, second full day's drive. And so we booked a hotel, and it's right in the tippy top of Tennessee before you hit Kentucky. And we later realized that it was not that far from where the devastating tornado did its big old path. So finally we called last night and we're just like, we want to check in to make sure that like you guys are open and your area is okay and that like other people don't need our room because there are a bunch of people without homes that have been staying in hotels, things like that. Cause we could change our plans. So we just wanted to confirm before we got there that there wasn't some unforeseen thing that we didn't know about. And thankfully, there's not. They're like, nope, we were completely unaffected. It was about 50 to 150 miles away from us. Thank goodness. Have a great day, April. Thanks for stopping in. So we're gonna hopefully push from Orlando to this city in Tennessee, past Nashville, which is further than we normally go. But we want to make sure that we have a shorter drive on Sunday because my grandfather is having our family's Christmas Eve the day we get there. The day we get there. And so when we arrive, there's going to be a house full of people because we stay with my grandparents. For those of you who don't know, we stay with my grandparents. My parents' house is far too full. My sister lives there. My niece lives there. So we stay with my grandparents, which is nice and quiet. They have a guest bedroom. It's wonderful. Which is awesome. I love staying there. But we originally talked about, oh, we're going to have Christmas Eve on Christmas Eve. And then I get a text message that's like, we're going to have Christmas Eve on the 19th. What time are you getting in? I'm like, well, it's like a 10-hour drive. So I don't know, 7, 8 p.m. at the earliest. And they're like, well, whenever you get here, we'd love to see you. So I'm like, we have to see if we can get there as early as possible. And then we're there. So we walk right into a big celebration and then we're there. And then the stress can ease. We're supposedly going to be driving through a big band of rainstorms, which is not good for my mental health, but I'm not driving, so that's okay. I do much better in the passenger seat during a rainstorm in the rain than in the driver's seat. So yeah, that's the anxiety provoking thing that's happening now. Good morning, Rosie, and I saw Rosemary pop on here too. Um, I didn't go to my family's Thanksgiving gathering. I just had a gut feeling. 9 members of my family got COVID that day. Janie, your gut feeling is masterful. Wow. Did you just like get up that day and decide you're like, maybe I'm not going to go? Or did you like plan on not go? I'm just very curious. Wow. Good, solid. Good for you. Standing your ground and saved you from something. I was going to say I'm slightly jealous that you can get antibiotics. I was just told it's not COVID or the flu and was sent home. Yeah, you just gotta sit, you gotta rest, you gotta take the over-the-counter drugs and do what you can. Um, yeah, so that's what's going through my head today is oh gosh, travel starts tomorrow. Yay. And I feel like I blow it out of proportion in terms of the level of anxiety that it needs to be. You know? Like, first I was a little bit anxious about what if the roads are bad or this or that or the other thing because of the tornado. And then there's like a band of storms, but like we can drive through rain. Rain is not necessarily horrible. Like it yeah, it might rain for a while, but that's okay, right? It's not horrible. Um I don't know. I just like to give myself anxiety for no reason. It's cool. It's cool. Travel anxiety. Signature Enneagram 9. We like to stay home. We like to be in our places. We like to be in our routine. And anything that changes that is problematic, you know? But it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, what's new and exciting with y'all? Because I don't have anything exciting to report. Nothing. Zero exciting things. Just doing, business as usual, looking forward to a week off, and then looking forward to going and getting back in the swing the week after next. The Monday morning, do I have a call? I don't even know. I've got new clients signed that we're setting up like start dates and things like that. And it's just all very exciting. Um, it'll be good. Unfortunately, I don't have OTC drugs. So I'm just taking it easy, staying in bed. Do you expect to film on your week off? Road trip food is always a welcome video. Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, I plan on vlogging. The reality is there's a chance that the vlog footage that I compile next week won't go up until we're back in Minnesota, simply because I don't have like a decent desk office setup to edit, and I can edit, but that's only if there's downtime. I can't. if I'm at my parents' house, there's no way I'm editing because Alice. So, but if I find myself with downtime at my grandparents' house, that's not like deliberately like doing something festive with them or whatever. Um, and I have time to edit, I will. But the reality is, we usually keep ourselves preoccupied enough where editing probably won't happen next week, but I will be filming the entire time. That is a very smart video. The reality is, for our road trip food, we typically stop at like an Arby's, and I get this chicken ranch wrap sandwich thing that's pretty tasty. And then we pack our own snacks. Occasionally, we buy something from the gas station. Road trip, um, professional advice here. When you're on a road trip, cross country, when you have to make your stops for gas, stop at a branded truck stop like Love's or Pilot, because they are catering towards the truck stop people who need showers and need rest and need good food or whatever. The food options at a Love's is exceptional for a gas station. So we always, whenever we are on the road, we always stop at a Love's or a Pilot if we can't find a Love's. And they're everywhere. They're everywhere. You can find one. The only time we don't is when we're going from Chicago to Minnesota. And that's when we stop at the Dells. But it's it's such an easy tip. So instead of like trying to find, random podunk gas station at some really small town, and we've stopped at a couple of those because we've really needed gas before, but now we've we've started regularly stopping it. Oh, we need gas in about 100 miles. Where's the next Love's? And so I'll search for Love's, and that's where we stop. And it's awesome. It's awesome. It's so much nicer than just going to random podunk gas station and hoping that there's food nearby. There's always a fast food chain of some kind attached to the Love's. Sometimes it's Arby's, McDonald's, whatever, but there's always a source of fresh fast food there, but there's also really good food options. We usually buy, like, hard-boiled eggs, and they have, like, some edible cookie dough. They have all sorts of things. So, if you're road tripping across the country, highly recommend looking for a Love's. Um, Goal is to stay under 500 steps. I mean, that's an odd goal. If you're feeling awake enough, you can go ahead and move, like, that's fine. But if you're not feeling up to it, like, then don't. But you don't need to have a goal of, like, not moving. That doesn't need to be a goal. Fermented foods can be helpful with that kind of death warmed over feeling. I'm excited that I'm having my first masterclass on the 27th, from Can't to Can. I love the name of that, even though I still cringe about using the word masterclass. Good for you, Rosie. Rosie has taken big strides on her goals and making dreams happen, and I'm so proud of her. That's going to be super, super cool, Rosie. Totally worth being excited about. Don't let those imposter syndrome feelings try and steal that from you. Absolutely. That's very exciting. That is a very exciting thing. And like, even just in the title, from Can't to Can, like, that's inspirational. One thing to keep in mind, Rosie, and it's something that I need to remind myself of regularly, is that like, especially when you have like these big lofty goals for your content, you want big reach, you want big views, you want big engagement. The goal that I always try and remember is that for every piece of content that I put out, as long as it helps one person, that's all that matters. Then that piece of content has done its job. And many pieces far exceed that one person, which is amazing. But sometimes you just need to help one person. So even if you only help one person go from can't to can, it was worth doing and is wonderful. So that's the thing that I always try and remember. I've never heard of Loves. Oh man, Loves is awesome. You only really know about it though if you go on the road. Otherwise, there's no reason to know about it. That group of family members has chosen to not be vaccinated, which is fine. But with the chronic health issues, MS, asthma, I'm picky with who. Girl, you made the right choice. Like, MS, catching COVID is not great. Not great at all. I go see my mom, but that's about it. It's difficult. Yeah, I understand. I understand. We have just, like, outside of my family, and everybody in my family was vaccinated before I got to be vaccinated. because they're teachers and healthcare workers and things like that. Um, but so like and we finally started doing pockets with family throughout the pandemic, which has been great. But like we just started doing normal things. Um, and now it's gonna feel like, especially like if we stayed down here, we'd be able to do more normal things. But going back north, it's gonna be hard to like feel safe doing normal things. Although I heard something on good advice on TikTok of all places of just like I'm not there's a lot of immunologists and stuff on there that like share the most recent reports and things like that, and they're sharing all the reports with the Omicron variant right now. And like as people are catching it, testing it based on like their vax status and who's gotten what and natural immunity versus this, whatever. But one of the pieces of advice that one of them said was like, just super, super basic of like, I'm not telling you to not do anything. That's what I'm not telling you that. Just put your mask on and go do your things. Just be smart about it. And I was like, that's actually very relieving to be like, no, we're not shutting down, but just throw your mask on, be smart, be safe while you're doing the things instead of being careless. Because when you get careless is when problems happen, you know? Our road trip foods are always packed and we do parks for picnics and let the girls run around, but we usually do 15 to 18 hours. You do 15 to 18 hours with 3 girls, 3 littles? Oh, man, Lindsay. Oh, man. I really don't feel good at all. I'm joking about having a goal. Makes me feel better not getting my steps in. Lissa, you just gotta let it go. It's okay to not be perfect. That you just gotta let it go. You're not gonna get the things done today, and that's okay. But I feel like what you have the ability to do is, and this goes for everybody, if you wake up and you say, I'm giving there's a difference between giving yourself permission to not do things because you don't feel well and deliberately being like, my goal is to do jack today. Because what if you end up feeling better? What if you end up feeling better and you decide that I want to do something today? I feel energized enough to make a trip to the store. I feel energized enough to maybe work for an hour. I feel energized enough. Then, by telling yourself that you have this goal to do literally nothing, you're actually hurting yourself because then all of a sudden you're like, no, I said I'm not going to do anything today. So I'm going to just sit here and do nothing. When really you feel better and could do something. And so then you have that emotional pull of like, but I told myself I wouldn't. It's okay to give yourself permission to rest if you need it and to stay in bed if you need it and things like that. But I think that there's, especially knowing how your brain works, I think giving yourself that I don't want to say pressure is the right word, but tying yourself down to that could also be detrimental because you're just setting yourself up to live in a different extreme. Instead of perfection, it's all or nothing. And there's all that gray area, y'all. There's all that gray area. So by having I told myself I was going to do all the work and blah, 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 and I feel bad because I'm not doing any of those things. That's the all or nothing mindset. But all or nothing mindset is also, I'm not going to do anything come hell or high water. That's also all or nothing mindset. And there's all that gray area, right? Like, for example, when I got the booster, this might be a poor example because it ended up knocking me out, but I gave myself permission to not do anything the whole weekend. Like we got our shot on Saturday early afternoon and we planned for nothing, right? And then when we got home and I felt fine, I was like, well, let me do my meal prep because nothing has happened yet. So I did my meal prep. I didn't plan on it. I didn't plan on having to meal prep at all, but I was like, let's just do it. I planned on meal prepping on Monday, but I did it because I still felt okay. And then the next day, the thing that knocked me out was I felt good enough that I'm like, well, I don't want to do too much, but I have the energy to take a shower. So I took a shower. And that happened to be the thing that knocked me out, but that's not the point. The point is I acknowledged, I was like, I told myself I didn't have to do anything today, but I feel like I could do this thing. So let me go do this thing. And then after I do the thing, I was like, okay, then that's enough, you know? Um, but don't don't set a different goal that's just a different version of all or nothing mindset, you know? Good reminder, I'm Going over the 5 reasons people get stuck and what we can do to change that. No, we are doing Christmas alone again. Our numbers tripled. Oh, no. Um, Last time on a road trip was 2002. I've been on a few church trips, but that was our last family vacation. Doing nothing is something, letting yourself heal. Exactly. If you need to heal, it is productive to rest. It is very productive to rest. And that is something that I'm teaching myself, even if I'm not sick. I need to make sure because girl burns out fast if I'm not careful about balancing my energy and managing my stress. Because I can get overwhelmed easily, that turns into the feelings of burnout, right? And the blighter rebellion and all that. So I, in real time, have to learn and have to focus on there's a time for work, there's a time for rest. And what do those boundaries look like? And how to make those boundaries not um, me using, but I need rest as an excuse to be lazy, because that is definitely something that especially the Enneagram 9s can do. Enneagram 9's sin is sloth, and I struggle with that a lot. Um, but there's also something to be said for like I'm during normal circumstances, when I moved my work hours to like 11 to give myself ample time to do a full morning routine at a decent pace and get all the morning things done so I can focus on work when it comes work time, you know. Hi, Kayla. And then the same thing at night. Like I absolutely could sit and work until 9 or 10 p.m. and then just get ready for bed and go to bed, but I know that burning myself out like that literally causes me pain. If I do too much, I end up in pain, you know? So it's about finding that balance and understanding that we work hard and we rest hard, because rest and recovery, just like with workouts, working out, lifting heavy things, maxing and taxing out your muscles and exhausting things is absolutely how you need to do it. But it's detrimental if you do that every single day and do not give your muscles time to recover. That's doing you more harm than good. So you have to max out and work out hard and lift hard. But for as hard as you lift, you also have to rest that hard. And that's super important because it's in the rest when everything is rebuilt and stamina is regrown so you can lift heavier the next time. So it's rest is super important. Intentional rest is very important. Giving myself permission to rest just feels so weird, especially since I'm used to doing everything for everyone else and others never allow me to rest. Said like a true obliger. Spoken like a true obliger. We're talking bosses not allowing me to call out sick, parents making me keep up with school and chores, even when sick and injured. So resting feels makes me feel so guilty and anxious. Look, you gotta set boundaries. Gotta set boundaries. I know it's hard, but you gotta set boundaries. That is one of those things. What's the phrase that's been going around? The only people that will have problems with you setting boundaries are the people that benefit from you not having any. Like, if you stop and you think about that when it comes to boundaries, the only people that will be mad that you set boundaries are the people that benefit from you when you don't have any. Um, should be a motivator because nobody should treat you like that. And if somebody does treat you like that, it's a messed up relationship. You know, people should respect your boundaries. As long as your boundaries are reasonable, your boundaries should be respected. But it's on you to make sure you set those boundaries to begin with. Um, So, and that's I know that's easier said than done, but that's definitely something to keep in mind, like setting those boundaries with people. And it's especially harder with people that are close to you, but it's necessary, you know? It's necessary. And that like and be the ability to set boundaries is very healthy. And as an obliger and as for me an Enneagram 9, like setting boundaries ain't easy because that automatically creates conflict. You know, that automatically creates conflict when you have to tell somebody, actually, I can't do this for you because of my boundary. You know, that creates conflict, or at least in your brain, it creates conflict, which makes it hard, but it's still necessary. You support your rest. You let us down if you don't take care of yourself. Yep. So Boundaries. Boundaries are good. All right, y'all. Let's take a look at what today's Bible verse is. Romans 12. Hold up. Gotta look it up here. I've been liking reading the text instead of my chicken scratch. Romans. I had to sing the song to figure out where the book was in the Bible. No big deal. Romans 12, 9 through 13. 9. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. A list of things to keep in mind and to do today for the Bible verses of the day. Let's see what our actionable items are today. Oh, my contact lens is doing something funny. That's real fun. Woohoo. Okay. Our faith card for the day, y'all. Experiment with tying your time in the Word to an existing habit. Put your Bible next to your coffee pot and read a chapter while you drink your first cup, or cue up a sermon or worship music while working out. Tying your spiritual practice to something you already do. My husband does that. He does his devotionals while he's eating breakfast every morning. I'm working on it. For a little perspective, my parents made my sister walk 2 miles home from school on a broken foot, so neither of us are used to taking it easy. Yep. Body. It's a body goal today for wellness. Look at your calendar for the week ahead and choose when you'll exercise. Write it down in your planner. During the next week, I will complete at least 20 minutes of exercise on day, at time of day, and in at place. And that's super important. Being specific about that is like making an appointment, right? So if you go for on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm going to do lift 4 in my basement at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then you stick that on your calendar and it is an appointment that you are supposed to keep. And that is definitely how I'm going to be approaching things once I get back and I'm back in my, back in the routine, getting those steps in. I'll have step dates and things like that that will help me make sure that I get all the exercise in. But scheduling it, whatever the task may be, even if it's something you need to do, I need to balance my checkbook. I will do that on Wednesday at 2 p.m. at my desk, things like that. I do try and plan things like that because it's tremendously helpful. Tremendously helpful. All right, so those are your action items for the day. Anybody have any last minute things? I am out of coffee. It's very sad. Today is a more coffee day. Okay. I'm still working on the routine plan, but I know when I'm going to lift. That's good. That's the first step. And then when you start to schedule one thing, then you can schedule another thing and whatever. And then all of a sudden you have a routine and a schedule. And it's great. Like I said the other day, I work much better on schedules, which is why I was so excited when in my contract for deliverables that I needed to give, had dates. Blog posts due this day, videos due for submission on this day and this day. And I'm like, this is amazing because I can pop it in my calendar and it's just the day that I have to do it. And it's great. I don't have the energy to brew coffee. Well, if you're trying to heal from illness, coffee is probably not the best thing. You don't need the caffeine. Instead, rest, sleep, hydrate, orange juice. I'm out of coffee and it's very sad. My husband just walked by holding his thing because he's going to get more coffee. I already drank my 2 cups. Anyway, all right, y'all. I will talk to you all tomorrow for the last episode edition of whatever you want to call it of the Merry Morning Show. All right. Talk to you all. Same bat time, same bat channel. Does anybody understand when I say that? Anybody? Are you bringing me coffee? Is there more? There's a lot more. Why is there so much? I got more coffee. Same bat time, same bat channel, I think is what the old, like, 1970s, 80s, I don't actually know what year it was, Batman TV show, like, the old ones with, like, the actual the da-na-na-na-na-na-na Batman, like, that theme song and, like, the silly, like, animated, like, pow, smack, it gets interspersed in, um like, actual human people stuff. My dad used to watch that show all the time. Old school Batman. And, the narrator would say, "Stay tuned for the next time," or whatever, "Same bat time, same bat channel," before every episode ended. So, all right, y'all. With that little, I'm old, 55, so I remember. Yeah, my dad used to watch that, and I don't remember when it must have been reruns. I don't actually know when that show came out, but he watched it all the time. So by default, we watched it all the time. So if you know, you know. Until tomorrow, my friends, take care.